Hey guys, it's Tim and this is Pro Wrestling Unlimited as we are here on the 3rd of July, the 4th of July Eve 2020 to talk about everything that went down tonight on Friday night Smackdown. Apologize at the beginning there, I was muted. I was getting everything set up so I had my microphone muted when we first went live, blah blah blah. Anyways, you don't need to hear about that. I'm still not under the weather anymore. But I still got the cough, nose congested, voice maybe 60%, as you guys can hear. So bear with me, guys. I do apologize for that. But hopefully, what am I going to say? Hopefully, more of you guys enjoy the stream than on Wednesday because a number of you, and it wasn't that many, but there were a few that kept saying that they were having issues with the stream buffering for them here on YouTube. So I don't know what that was all about. Because I have the stream playing for me, and it's not buffering at all, and didn't buffer at all. So we'll see how it all does go. But I do want to say thank you guys for joining me here on Twitch. Thank you everybody that came from YouTube to Twitch, because, well, Twitch may be the way that we can actually make a little more money here with these live streams. Because I'll just say it, this is the last time I'll talk about it. The reason we're live on Twitch now is to try and make more money doing the live streams. I don't want to stop doing live streams. I love doing live streams. But the issue is doing them on YouTube just weren't making any money. None, really. Like, I can't say none. Each stream make like a couple bucks. But a couple bucks is not worth it when you're live for 30, 40, 60 minutes. And then that's a lot of time you lost doing other things. You know, I'm just saying. But with that, give me 1 second. Excuse me. I do want to say thank you guys for joining me here on Twitch to talk about tonight's Friday night Smackdown. Let me make that on-screen notification a little bigger. And it disappeared, so I can't change it now. Next time it pops up, I will fix it. It still says Great American Bash. I forgot to change that. Let's fix this really fast. Trying to manage the YouTube stuff and the Twitch at the same time. Trying to get everybody to come over, so I forgot to switch the name. But hey, we're good. I switched it up now. It says we're live. We're live. Let's talk about Smackdown. Smackdown kicked off with Matt Riddle. So, Matt Riddle and Corey Graves opened up the show and ran down the lineup for tonight's show. Cole then announced a special preview of the swamp fight between Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman, which wasn't anything special, which we'll talk about later. Michael Cole was in the ring, and he introduced Matt Riddle. And this is interesting. This is very interesting. Cole noted that Riddle was known as the original King of the Bros in NXT. Riddle made his way down to the ring. They recapped his debut against AJ Styles a few weeks back. There were shots of fans at ringside, and most were wearing masks. I believe actually, get the hiccups here. I believe all were wearing masks, though. I don't know why I wrote most, because there's a rule now in WWE. Don't wear your mask and get fined. Basically, WWE has instated a mandatory mask rule. First offense, $500 fine. Second offense, $1,000 fine, and so forth. So Cole discussed Riddle's debut and win over AJ Styles. Riddle couldn't believe that he fought Styles and won. Riddle also couldn't believe that he got to celebrate his victory with Daniel Bryan, Otis, and New Day. Cole then noted that Riddle competes barefoot. Riddle explained that and hold on. Fightful did a full transcription of this, because I didn't write it down word for word. But I'm going to go to Fightful.com. I'm going to read their word for word. It says, so he asked Matt Riddle, why do you wrestle barefoot? And Riddle stated, and I quote, when I was a child, my family took me on vacation to Wisconsin. and it just so happened to be winter time. And they had this sweet indoor pool. I'd swim in the indoor pool, then go outside and play in the snow. I did this back and forth, back and forth. One day, I kind of stayed outside a little too long because when I came back in to go swimming, I put my feet in the water. My feet were on fire. When I told my son, when I told my mom, she said, I'm pretty sure you have frostbite, Matt. We went to the doctor. Sure enough, I had frostbite. They were even thinking about amputating the bro's tootsies, the feets, the foots. Bro. Likely, I pulled through and that didn't happen. But that's why I never wear shoes. Whenever I put a pair of shoes on, I get that burning sensation. I never wear shoes. I don't care if it's a wedding, a bar mitzvah. I don't care if I'm hanging out with a bear. I never wear shoes anywhere, bro. Also, that day, I learned something. I learned you could lose everything in a moment. Even though I can't feel anything with my feet, my feet allow me to feel everything else that much more. Wow, what a story. Raven said there should have been a bro count. How many times he said bro? Oh, every time Matt Riddle speaks, it's bro this and bro that and bro this. Corbin would make his way down to the ring here. Just what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, it's disgusted with Matt Riddle. He mocked Riddle. Corbin was furious that Riddle jumped him last week after his match. Corbin noted that he'd teach Riddle a lesson. Riddle said, well, I'm ready to fight. Let's go. He said, well, you're not going to fight me. You're going to fight this man. And out would come John Morrison. And that was just like, John Morrison versus Matt Riddle right now? Oh, mama. Yes, please. So, we got Matt Riddle versus John Morrison, and it didn't upset. So King Corbin joined Michael Cole and Corey Graves on commentary. Cole wondered how Corbin had the power to just make matches, and then said, remember when you had power on Raw and you ran that show into the ground? Riddle and Morrison had a really good match. It was hard-hitting, and I mean hard-hitting from the start and really fast-paced. Riddle and Morrison started with some mat wrestling. Riddle went for a knee bar, but Morrison made it to the ropes. Morrison rocked Riddle with a stiff forearm. Riddle fought back. Morrison attempted a running kick, but Riddle caught the leg. Riddle locked on the ankle lock, but Morrison escaped. Riddle attempted a release German suplex, but Morrison landed on his feet and hit a springboard kick. Morrison slowed the pace down and applied a chinlock. Morrison would then rock Riddle with a sick-looking running knee. Riddle was just like knocked out, it looked like, at this point. Kicked out. Kicked out at 2. Riddle absorbed a series of kicks. He's just like, bring it, bro, more. He'd get kicked, boom, chop on Morrison. He'd get kicked, chop on Morrison. Finally, Morrison teased like he was going to hit him again, and then he poked him in the eye. With the ref standing right there, so I don't know why the ref didn't call it a DQ poke to the eye. Riddle fought back, though. Suplexed Morrison across the ring. Riddle then, for some reason, ended up outside the ring after an exchange. Then he grabbed one of his flip-flops, and he threw it at King Corbin. Rushed back in the ring. Corbin ran after him, and we went to commercial. Back from the break, Riddle was in control. He hit the Broton, the bro to sleep, and a German suplex for a near fall. Riddle then attempted the floating bro, but Morrison got his knees up. Riddle locked on the bro mission, but Morrison made it to the ropes. Riddle and Morrison traded shots in the middle of the ring. Riddle rocked Morrison with a jumping knee. Riddle followed this up with a powerbomb and a running knee for a close 2. The Miz jumped on the apron here, but Riddle knocked him off. Corbin jumped on the apron on the opposite side of the ring. Riddle knocked him off, and Morrison rolled him up. Riddle kicked out at 2. Riddle recovered quickly here, cradled Morrison, pinned him, picked up the victory, rushed out of the ring because Corbin jumped in the ring. Bada bing, bada boom. There we go. So Matt Riddle defeats John Morrison in a great match. As Riddle is celebrating on the ramp, though, he's attacked from behind by AJ Styles. Soon thereafter, actually very, very, very moments later, quickly, Gulick would run out and attack Styles. The two brawled, and we went to the back. Whoa, I wrote this way wrong. Yeah, the two brawled, and we went to commercial. As we come back, we're in the back, and Sarah Schreiber approached King Corbin. Miz, John Morrison. Corbin was furious at Riddle, and promised to do something about it. But that something was not tonight. So we get the Intercontinental title match, AJ Styles versus Drew Gulick. This was not a bad match, but I believe their last match was better. You can argue with me if you believe differently, but I do believe the first one where Gulick actually won was the better match. So they worked a slow pace here, but it did pick up towards like the 3/4 mark. Styles was firmly in control and beat down Gulick around the ring. Gulick fought back and used a victory roll for a near fall. Styles quickly regained control. They then said, Daniel Bryan is here via Zoom, coaching Drew Gulick. So Bryan would pop up on screen, I think 2, maybe 3 times. I know at least 2. I think there might have been a third, but I'm not 100%. And he gave his thoughts a couple times about what's going on. Like at one point he said that they know that AJ Styles is great, and that one of the things that Gulick will need to implement is to catch AJ when he tries to fly. So Styles used a snap suplex at one point. Only got a 1 count off of it. Gulick recovered and rocked Styles with a hard forearm. Styles attempted a calf crusher, but Gulick rolled through and locked on a submission. Styles quickly made it to the ropes to break the hold. Styles became frustrated at ringside. Gulick suddenly rocked Styles with a sliding dropkick. After commercial break, Gulick had control of the match. Styles sent Gulick shoulder first into the ring post. Styles then hit a brainbuster for a close 2. Gulick recovered and dropped Styles face first on the top turnbuckle, or on the top rope, whatever you want to call it. Gulick fired up and hit a series of drop kicks. Gulick hit a Michinoku driver for a very close near fall. Gulick placed Styles on the top turnbuckle, but Styles slipped out as Gulick climbed up. Styles then dropped Gulick face first on the turnbuckle. Styles followed this up with a Styles clash, but didn't go for the pin. There's the thing. He would then pick up Drew Gulick, lean him up against the ropes, go on the apron. When Gulick was all ready to stand up on his own, AJ would springboard off, bada boom, hit that phenomenal forearm, pin Drew Gulick, and retain the WWE Intercontinental Championship. Also, I want to say thank you, Broken King Slender, for the host. Really do appreciate that. So they then show Bayley and Sasha Banks coming out of a production truck, stating that they've been working very hard all day on a tribute video to themselves. They said last week we did a tribute to The Undertaker. This week it's a tribute to Bayley and Sasha, or Sasha and Bayley. So Bayley and Sasha come out. Bayley and Sasha made their way to the ring. Bayley noted that Banks took out Asuka on Raw and then went to NXT. When she started talking about NXT, though, Sasha just goes, man, we're not going to talk about that. So Bayley pointed out they're on every show. Sasha is Sasha 3 shows, and Bayley is Bayley 3 brands. That was kind of clever. They noted that nobody respects them, though, but there is one person that does. Nobody but one. And that person's The Undertaker, or as Bayley called him, Taker. She said he called her up on his cell phone. He called her on her cell phone. And was just like, I respect you guys. WWE needs to show you guys more respect. And they need to air a tribute to you after the tribute they aired about me. So Bayley and Banks then showed a tribute video of their own. The tribute video was done very well. Very cool video. Banks and Bayley then chanted, "Thank you, Sasha. Thank you, Bayley," at each other, which was kind of funny. Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross would interrupt. They made their way down to the ring. Bliss and Cross mocked Bayley and Banks by reading a list of accomplishments. Bliss and Bailey were none too amused. They said, "You're not amused? Well, that's how you guys sound. We just thought we'd let you know how you sound." So Bailey laughed at Cross, who said that she was going to stand tall and promise to win the SmackDown Women's Championship at Extreme Rules. Horror show. Bliss got in Bailey's face. Banks was furious and challenged Bliss to take on Bailey tonight. And Bliss said, "I accept." Bailey was kind of mad about this. Kind of role reversal. Because Bailey's always making matches for Sasha, so Sasha made a match for Bailey. So we had Sasha Banks. No. Bailey versus Alexa Bliss. Bailey was out there. Why did I write Sasha versus Alexa? I'm retarded. Anyways, it was Bailey. Because all my notes for the rest are Bailey. Anyways, I wrote it wrong. I wrote Sasha versus Bailey. Or Sasha versus Bliss. It's Bailey versus Bliss. They had a basic match that was kept short. Bliss had the early advantage. Bailey took over not long after that early advantage. She targeted Bliss's arm and attacked it repeatedly. Bailey mocked Cross, and Bliss rolled her up for a near fall. Bailey mocked Cross again and tried to jump into the ring. The referee was distracted, and Banks attacked Bliss. Cross ran around ringside and attacked Sasha. Bailey yelled at Nikki. Cross had heard enough, jumped in, attacked Bailey, disqualification. Bailey picks up the victory. After the match, they all brawled until, well, the heels took off. We then got a preview for the Swamp fight, the Wyatt Swamp fight. I saw some mixed reactions to this on social media. I thought it was all right. I didn't think it was anything special. They just talked about the history between the Eater of Worlds and the Universal Champion. They recapped New Day defeating Lucha House Party. Well, next up, they recapped New Day defeating Lucha House Party and Nakamura and Cesaro attacking the New Day after that match. So, we got Shinsuke Nakamura versus Kofi Kingston up next. I do want to apologize if you guys hear any screaming in the background. I guess my neighbors got their kids running around out front of the apartment, so you apologize for that. This was a really, really good match that kind of started off good and really picked up to almost great at the end. Kingston rocked Nakamura with a dropkick right as the bell rang. Nakamura briefly took over. Kingston hit a second rope dropkick. Kingston knocked Nakamura to the floor and attempted a dive. Nakamura moved out of the way, though. Kingston threw Nakamura into the barricade, and Big E cackled so annoyingly. They're supposed to be the baby faces, but I was so annoyed by Big E's laughter. It was just mute my TV almost. Nakamura recovered and rocked Kingston with a kick to the head. Cesaro then hit Kingston with her right hand. Big E chased Cesaro around ringside. Cesaro slipped into the ring to get away from Big E. The referee had enough and threw both Big E and Cesaro out. After the break, Nakamura was firmly in control with a chinlock. Nakamura at one point hit a sliding German suplex for a near fall. Kingston tried fighting back, but Nakamura caught Kingston with a back elbow. Nakamura draped Kingston over the apron and hit a running knee for a 2. Nakamura slowed down the pace with another chinlock. Kingston broke free and hit a flying forearm. Kingston fired up and hit a standing dropkick, but Kingston attempted a crossbody. Nakamura got his knees up and used an inside cradle for a near fall. Kingston at one point attempted a Trouble in Paradise, but Nakamura avoided it. Nakamura then hit a Kinshasa and picked up the victory. With that, we learned later on in the show that next week, New Day will be challenged by Cesaro and Nakamura for the Tag Team Championships. So that match will be happening next week instead of at the pay-per-view Extreme Rules. After the match, Cesaro made his way down to the ring and pulled out a table. Big E ran down to ringside, and the heels backed off before doing anything to Kofi. Then, well, we had our main event segment. Before this, they also let us know Bailey and Sasha will team up to take on Alexa and Alexa and Nikki. So they had bartender in the ring. They had some tables with, or some bar looking deals with alcohol on it, but no Sheamus. Jeff Hardy made his way down to the ring and said, "All right, Sheamus, let's get this going. I know you just want to humiliate me." And Michael Cole noted that Hardy is an admitted alcoholic. Graves argued this was the world he lives in. He demanded that Hardy demanded Sheamus come down. And so Sheamus appeared on the big screen from a bar from his home in Nashville. He wasn't there, actually, though. He decided to give Hardy some distance. Sheamus praised Hardy for defeating King Corbin during the Undertaker tribute last week. Sheamus mocked Hardy, though, for his issues. And noted Hardy couldn't avoid it. Sheamus figured out the solution to Hardy's problems. It's in one of the bottles here in the ring. Sheamus then toasted Hardy and mocked him for his problems. Hardy was furious and noted people go through those same struggles that he does. And he asked Sheamus if he thinks, that this is all fun and games. Sheamus noted he's trying to help Jeff. That's why Sheamus sent his personal bartender to Smackdown. The bartender put a drink in Jeff's face. Jeff grabbed the drink and teased even having it. Instead, he poured the drink on the bartender and broke the bottle over his head. He then hit a swanton bomb on the bartender. I thought this was an okay segment. I think, though, with Sheamus not being there, it kind of fell flat for me, and it wasn't as well as it could have been, because we know Jeff Hardy's got good delivery. He's not the best talker, but he's got good enough delivery. We know Sheamus is a really good talker with great delivery. So I think if these two were in the ring together, it would have been really, really good. But for Sheamus not being there, having to be on screen, and Jeff being in the ring, and then you have to interact with the bartender, it took a little bit out from me. I still liked it, but I don't know what you want to say. Of course, it's not going to be as good because both guys weren't there, but they tried their hardest. At least they tried, and that's all you got to say. It was a little odd. The bartender thing seemed a little forced, but well, it's all good. But that was SmackDown. With that, I do have some text messages to read. If you guys want to give me your thoughts on tonight's Friday Night SmackDown, you can do so by texting into a 510-906-1341. Again, that number is 510-906-1341. I don't know why the automatic message is not working. Text your thoughts. Hot Rob says, bartender match at Extreme Rules. Well, what's a bartender match, bud? Explain. This is actually an old message from Wednesday, but it pertains to SmackDown, so I'm going to read it now. It says, Extreme Rules coming up. If Cross doesn't win the SmackDown Women's title, do you think they will get the Women's Tag titles back down the road? And if you had to guess, who would be the mystery opponent? Oh, for Impact. I don't know who the mystery opponent is going to be. Rusev, maybe? I don't know. EC3? But I heard Nikki Cross. I honestly can see Bayley and Sasha holding the tag titles for a while. Not dropping them. Yeah, I don't see them dropping them for a while. I don't think Sasha's going to beat Asuka. But I think Bayley beats Nikki. And then they just go from there defending the title and whatnot and this and that. Tag title still. This text message here says, what are you expecting from the Swamp fight? Do you think it's going to be overly cinematic just like Undertaker and AJ Styles from WrestleMania? Or do you think it's going to be more over the top than that? I think it's going to be just as cinematic. From what I've heard, Bray Wyatt and Jeremy Borash are taking the lead on this match. And Triple H is supposed to be on set once they film it. I don't know when they're going to film it, but apparently the word going around is a big Hollywood stuntman or stunt coordinator has been advised for this, so there may be some big stunt that they do. Just looking at the chat here before we do wrap things up, though. Eric says, it's not a wrestling question, but have you beat Last of Us 2? I did beat Last of Us 2. I beat it off stream because unfortunately I can't stream it right now because, so I have what is called, and it's not sitting here on my desk, but I have a capture card that I plug my PlayStation into, plug that into my computer, and then I can stream video games from my PlayStation to my computer to Twitch. Well, the cord broke on it, the USB cord that plugs into my computer from it, and it needs a high-powered USB cord, so I have to order another one of those. It's like $5. Eric says, I'm getting the game Sunday. Awesome. It's amazing, but it's long. It took me about 25 hours to beat. So, Matt Plays in the chat says, when is Extreme Rules? Extreme Rules is July 19th. Also, if you want to know anything about WWE's schedule all the way up till SummerSlam, we do have a video up on the PWUnlimited YouTube channel that has the entire schedule from July 15th when they do their next tapings all the way to August 23rd, SummerSlam. I'm just reading a couple more of these comments before we do wrap it up. Raven, who was actually JD from YouTube, says, who do you have on Sunday's race? Well, I had Jimmy Johnson, but Jimmy Johnson's got coronavirus, so I got to make a new pick. I don't know, to be honest. I got to look and see who I've got available now on my fantasy league. Well, I had Jimmy Johnson. And the last one I'm going to read here, actually got a couple more coming in now, a couple more comments. First says, hey, Tim, do you think Matt Riddle will get to face AJ Styles for the IC Championship? Yeah, if there's a precedent, because Drew Gulick defeated AJ, got a title match. Well, Riddle has defeated AJ, so he's got to get a title match. It only makes sense. Gomez here says, Sasha Banks looks good wearing the Smackdown Women's Championship around her waist. It ain't happening anytime soon, I'm going to tell you that. Raven says, really? Yes. Jimmy wasn't feeling well. His wife got tested positive. He got tested positive. News broke around 3 p.m. Pacific time today. He will not be in Indianapolis this weekend. Justin Allgaier, who drives the 7 for Junior Motorsports in the Xfinity Series, will be driving the 48 this Sunday. And the last person here says, are you ready for Cyberpunk 2077 in November? Sure, I'll play it. Why not? But with that, I want to thank you guys for joining me here on Twitch, twitch.tv/PWUnlimited, as we talked about tonight's Friday Night Smackdown. Now, as I'm going to do, as we end every Twitch stream, I'm going to help out a smaller Twitch streamer. I've got at this time 42 of you actually, in the live stream. So we're going to do what Twitch calls raiding. We're going to raid Crowd again. He's got a couple people. He's playing some games. I'm going to send you guys over to Crowd. As well, I wrap things up for the night. So have a good night, guys. Go give Crowd some love over here on Twitch. He's playing Dead by Daylight. We'll see you next time. Have a good night, guys.